this point, I know you all love shiny Pokemon. I can see it in the numbers. But did you know that there's a type of shiny that is simply better than the rest? One that every Pokemon dreams of being. Yes, I'm talking about black-colored shinies. The most hardcore, intense color a shiny can possibly be. And today, my goal is simple. Catch a team of shinies that are majority black-colored and beat Pokemon Violet with a few extra rules sprinkled on top to make things harder. But anyway, that's a lot of work, so let's get started. We begin on a lovely new day in the Paldea region by heading over to some old guy's house so we can pick up our starter Pokemon. Our choices are Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco, and I decided to go with Sprigatito since the shiny variant of its evolved form Meowscarada has at least some black on it, unlike these other nerds. I named the little guy Fern after this dude from Adventure Time because, I mean, come on, the resemblance is uncanny. And with that, our journey had begun. So we waste no time, beat Nemona, head up Poco Path, gain some experience, rescue a robot dino, defeat Arven, and speedrun our way into a boring day of school. Fortunately, the school day didn't take too long, but it did give me time to think. So far, we've been playing basically just like normal, but in the spirit of the challenge run, I decided it would be best to actually start using some shiny black Pokemon. So in completely legitimate and legal ways, I managed to obtain a Hisuian Zora and a Ditto so we can start breeding for our first shiny Pokemon. And thus, the long process of acquiring our first shiny begins. After many hours and a lot of eggs, and I mean a lot of eggs hatched, we managed to finally find our first shiny, and it wasn't even from the eggs. And our first shiny is a Lechonk! A pink Lechonk. We'll get a black shiny eventually. I then spent the next 6 hours waiting for eggs to spawn and then hatching them, and I got nothing. Since I was having the absolute worst luck when it came to hatching eggs, I decided to take a little break from it and tried exploring the wild to find a shiny. I traveled on over to West Cortando hoping to find a shiny Sandygast, and oh my god, it's a shiny Sandygast? What? 6 hours of hatching and I get nothing, and then I use fast travel and immediately find a black shiny. What is going on? But unfortunately, it's too high of a level, so I can't even use it, and it won't even listen to me. Hey, I'll give you $1 million if you go hit that guy in the face. See? I don't even care anymore. I'm just glad we finally have one and we're no longer breaking the rules of the challenge. I named this lucky lady Onyx after the black gemstone, and we were on our way. What's going on? Why am I on screen? Oh, of course, it's to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Mondly. But this isn't any ordinary sponsor, no. This is a sponsor that is near and dear to this guy right here. It's my heart. You see, I love to travel. It's maybe my favorite thing to do in the entire world. And you know what helps with travel? Being able to speak the language of the place that you're going. And that's exactly what Mondly helps you with. Mondly is a language learning app, and they are currently offering a 96% discount on a lifetime premium membership, which is a great deal, but we'll get back to that, mondly.app/Quinn. With Mondly, you can choose from 41 different languages to learn from 33 different mother tongues. So say, for example, you speak Romanian, but you want to learn English, and I'm not sure why you're watching this video, but you can do that with Mondly. In fact, all of their lessons are recorded by native speakers to make sure that you nail the pronunciation and also the accent.
Mother.
And to add to that, all of their lessons are extremely practical. No talking about the biblioteca, because nobody goes to the biblioteca, okay? It's 2024. Anyway, like I said before, Mondly is currently doing a back-to-school sale with a 96% discount on their premium membership. That's a lifetime 96% discount. That's huge. If you care about learning a foreign language, this is a great deal. You can go to mondly.app/Quinn. It's down in the description. Click the link and download the app today, and you'll get the discount. Thank you to Mondly for sponsoring this video. Anyway, back to it. With our new friend caught, I was feeling revitalized and extra determined to hatch a shiny Zorua, so off I went. And man, oh man, this took a while. I was hatching eggs for hours at this point, but then our shiny boy has arrived. We finally got a shiny Hisuian Zora, and as for his name, let's go with Salem, after the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I'm sure most of the people watching this video remember, right? Hey, I'm not old. Stop saying that out loud. There's nobody else in the room with you. Who are you even talking to? Anyway, now that we finally had a party going, I decided it was time to take on our first gym, the Bug Gym. Of course, we start this gym like any other, by rolling a giant olive around an obstacle course. Then we manage to make it to the battlefield to face the gym leader, Katie, and she starts by throwing out a Nimble. If we had a normal Zora right now, we might have been in trouble since, bug types are super effective against dark types, but luckily, Hisuian Zora is a normal ghost type, so we have no trouble breezing right through Nimble. Tarantula gets absolutely bodied too, and we're making good progress. Hatching Salem was definitely a good idea. The final challenge, Teddy Ursa shows herself now, and deals a massive amount of damage with Fury Cutter despite it not being very effective. If it's not very effective, what do you call that? But fortunately, in my infinite wisdom, I had the foresight to give Salem an Oran Berry. Look at that! Eat that body-sized berry, Salem, delicious! This fight is not even close. With one more swift attack from Salem, Teddy Ursa explodes and the gym badge is mine. Salem is king of the bugs. Yeah. Our next destination was the grass gym and artisan, so off we went. And now it's time to challenge the gym leader Brassius and claim another badge. Or so I thought. It turns out this gym battle was actually a little tough. The first Pokemon out, Pet Lil, didn't put up much of a fight and went down easily. And the second Pokemon was a cute little Smoliv. Oh my god, look at him, he's so small! But Smoliv wasn't much of an issue either. However, together they did manage to put Salem's health below half. And up against a terastallized Sudowoodo, going in with half health just isn't gonna cut it. RIP. After that loss, I healed up Salem, and after equipping him with an Oran Berry and strengthening his bones with calcium, I headed back in for the rematch. It won't be so easy this time, Brassius! And I'm dead. Okay, third time's the charm. Bring it! Trashiest! Okay, Smoliv is too strong this time. What is going on? I think Salem needs to be just a little bit stronger if we're gonna get this gym badge. So I headed back out into the wild to gain some more XP and also to try to find the Sludge Bomb TM. Fortunately, I do manage to find it atop this mountain, and I pray to Arceus that this is enough to take Sudowoodo down. Here we go. Back at the grass gym. Come on, Trashiest. You know the rules, and so do I. Boom! Sludge Bomb absolutely tears through Petlil and Smoliv in one hit, and our little Salem goes into the final fight on full HP. Here we go. Another Sludge Bomb. Boom! Another massive hit. Sudowoodo tries to fight back with a Trailblaze, but it's not enough. One more Sludge Bomb and Sudowoodo is down. Easy. Another badge in the bag. This will make a fine addition to my collection. The next challenge is to face Team Star, but apparently I need 3 Pokemon in my party to even attempt to take on these losers. Okay, well, we already have a Sandygast, so let's finally put him in our party. But now I do need to find another. Which one shall I go with? Maybe Citadel? To find one, I decided to head on over to the Glaciado Mountains and spent another few hours exploring around. I went up and down the mountains more times than I can count, but finally, eventually, we managed to find one. Look at that lovely black coat on that shiny little Citadel. Oh my goodness. I approach him stealthily, and he's level 40. Okay. Well, I can't use it in battle just yet because he's too high of a level, but of course, I'm not gonna let him get away either. And so after throwing enough Ultra Balls at his face, Citadel chose to stay in his new home, and boom! Another black shiny in the bag. After spending so much time finding this shiny, I thought it didn't make much sense to catch a lower level Citadel, so I thought I would just try to catch a different black shiny and use Citadel later. And so, the next Pokemon in my sights, Oricorio. If you haven't seen the shiny, it is a beautiful black masterpiece, which you will see in just a moment. It took more time than I care to admit driving around Artisan, but I finally managed to find the glorious boy hiding under a tree. I donned thee? Orion. Luckily, I also managed to find a Colbur Berry, which could come in handy in the upcoming battle. If you didn't know, a Colbur Berry halves the attack damage of a super effective dark move, which, spoiler alert, might be useful in our next fight. All right, now that we have our party of 3, we can take on Team Star. So their boss, Giacomo, comes out, and holy milk tank, he has a monster truck. Dude, that's pretty cool. I do kind of just want to be friends with this guy and take rides around on his big truck and also ask him how to actually pronounce his name. But unfortunately, Giacomo rejects my offer of friendship and instead decides to choose violence. But he does show a little mercy by using a tiny poniard to fight rather than simply running us over. Okay, come on, Onyx, you got this. First, of course, we need to get past that poniard and it's dead. Okay. All right, who wins? 3 elite shiny Pokemon versus a truck. Surely we can win this, right? And Onyx is dead. Good lord, this truck is strong. Okay, let's go Salem, use Hyper Beam. Okay, not bad damage at all, but not quite enough. Salem goes down and it's all up to Orion. And at this point, it's not looking too promising. Orion, use Protect. Save yourself. Oh my god, 1 HP? Please no, Orion, it's just a car! Get out of the way! Okay, our health is low, but... No! Orion, why? This fight is pretty difficult, but we were so close. One more time, we got this. Sandygast, use Earth Power. Easy, thank you. Pawniard is down, and so is Onyx, but that's okay. We knew this would happen. It's all going according to plan. Okay, now we hit it with an Icy Wind to slow it down, and follow up with a massive Hyper Beam. Boom! It's halfway down, and we still have 2 Pokemon, all according to plan. Okay, now 1 Pokemon. Fine. It's all up to you, Orion. I know you can do it. Thanks to my encouragement, Orion starts to breakdance and Revavroom's attack falls. Now's my chance. Orion, use U-turn. Boom! Super effective. Just one more time? What? How? Oh. Okay, finally, one last U-turn. Perfect. Done. Wow. Okay, I really struggled with Dark Star. I definitely did not remember that Revavroom was immune to status effects, but in the end, a good Hyper Beam and my boy Orion clutched up and got us through it. Whew! So then, after saying hello to Johnny Bravo's cousin, I headed off to the town of Lavencia to heal up my party and take on my next challenge, my rival Nemona. The fight starts with Onyx versus her Rockruff. Rockruff is such a cute little Pokemon, and I'd love to have one in real life. Psych! Go Gadget Volcano! We instantly cremate Rockruff, and so, of course, Nemona smiles and compliments my skills after we literally burned her dog alive. Anyway, next up is Palmy, and good God, her entire team is simply adorable. Let's kill it. Palmy is the faster Pokemon, so it manages to land a bite and starts to charge up. But the Volcano claims all, and Palmy goes down in one single hit. The next fighter is a terastallized Quaxwell, and it makes my party drop like flies. First Onyx in 1 hit, then Salem in 2. And finally, Orion in another 2. The score is now 2-1 to Nemona, but we'll get her back soon. I promise. Not long after the battle, Iono calls us and tells us to tell you to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content, and you know what? That's a great idea, Iono. They definitely should. After dispatching those rabid fans, it was finally gym time. Maybe Iono will put up a better fight than her goons. Spoilers? She does. She definitely does. Now, this was a very difficult fight. It took a lot of attempts, and we had to take a break to level our party up, but you know, we would never give up. Iono was going down. It was inevitable. The fight started Salem versus Watrel. The bird manages to dispel our illusion, but promptly gets steamrolled after that. Easy enough. Luxio was up next, but Salem shows no mercy. Luxio is evaporated by a Hyper Beam. The Silk Scarf I had equipped came in clutch, boosting the damage of Hyper Beam while also serving as an extremely stylish addition to any outfit. Oh my goodness, you look fabulous! Anyway, so far so good. Bellybolt now takes on Onyx, and it's a pretty even fight, but Quick Claw comes in clutch and allows Onyx to blast the Fat Frog away. Miss Magus defeats Onyx, Orion comes out, gets confused, eats a berry, is no longer confused, slows Miss Magus down heavily using 3 Icy Wind attacks, faints, and now it's all up to Salem. 14 HP and a dream. 1 hit to decide it all. Whoever's faster wins. Orion, Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Thanks to the icy winds, Salem shoots first with the Hyper Beam and Miss Magis is down. Iono is done, and I have claimed all of her subscribers for myself. Another gym badge in the books, and we move on our way. We take a quick little selfie with the streamer and then set our sights on the Team Star Fire crew. The grunts were pushovers and the challenge was basically the same as when we fought Team Darkstar, but this time, the boss fight was way easier than the Hakamo fight. Since all of Mela's Pokemon are fire types, I used Rain Dance to make them way easier to deal with, and Onix just swept right through them like a broom through sawdust. Yeah, we'll go with that. That makes sense. Anyway, the next fight was going to be against the water gym leader Kofu, but oh wait! Oh, what's this? Salem evolves into a Zoroark, and wow! Does this shiny look insanely cool in this game? Not only that, but this should also make the next few fights a lot easier. And boy, does it ever. Now, before fighting Kofu, we have to take care of his lackey, which with our new Zoroark is no problem at all. Or so I thought. Salem missed his debut Hyper Beam and then just kinda died. What? That is unfortunate. The lackey puts up a much better fight than anticipated, but Orion and Onix do manage to get the job done, so we can move on to Kofu. After healing up my party, it's time to take on yet another gym leader. Veluza's the first one out, and this time, Salem doesn't disappoint. 2 quick Shadow Claws and Veluza falls. Wugtrio isn't too much of a problem either. Orion prevails, and the final water type takes to the spotlight. Crabominable misses his first attack, giving me flashbacks of Salem's earlier fight. But now it's time for redemption. Salem shoots out a Hyper Beam, and with that, the water gym is done dozo, am I right? Ha! Because it's a big fish? Anyway, this was definitely one of the easier gyms, largely thanks to Salem evolving. It all just kind of worked out. From here, the next foe to fall to our team is Team Star's Poison Crew. And at this point, you all know exactly what's gonna happen. We take down some grunts, complete a challenge, then fight a Revavroom. But what the heck? Why does that child look so spiffy? Dang. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this kid calling me Daddy Q, but I was about to dropkick him anyway, so what does it really matter? This kid's Gulpin learns the harsh truths of reality as it explodes, and his Shroodle only got to come out of his Pokeball for a few seconds. After finishing the incredibly easy challenge, the Poison-type boss Atticus was up next, and oh look, it's a Revavroom. Who would have seen that coming? I swear, these battles are the hardest thing in this game because I actually lost this fight the first 3 times I tried it. But you know what they say, 4th time's the charm. Yup. That's how the saying goes. I gave Orion a Petra Berry, which allows it to cure itself of poison, and took the first few turns to buff Orion's attack with Swords Dance. And with 1 use of Acrobatics, Skuntank is down. None of my Pokemon lost any health, and Orion is buffed and ready to keep fighting. We hit Muck with an Acrobatics, and boom, another one down. Just the tiny Revavroom now, and Orion takes his first teensy bit of damage, but easily powers through and sets up nicely against the Starmobile. Orion takes a well-earned rest, and now it's Salem's turn. 1 Hyper Beam and the match is almost over already. Revavroom uses Spin Out and oh good god, 2 HP. It's okay, we just need to land 1 more attack. Come on Salem, please don't miss. Revavroom at 1 HP? What is going on? Thank Arceus we still have Onix to hopefully land 1 final attack. Okay, for real this time. Thankfully, Onix tanks the Spin Out and uses the power of the earth to win the fight. These close battles are gonna make me go bald from stress, I swear. With yet another Team Star group defeated, I decided to take a small break to explore and catch some more Pokemon. And while exploring, I happened to find 2 mysterious eggs. I wonder what could be inside of these. While we wait for those to hatch, I keep looking around in search of more Pokemon to add to my party. I spent the next hour or so exploring, but unfortunately I didn't manage to find any. But it's not all bad news, one of our eggs started to hatch. And the new member of the party is Froakie, okay? Well, not quite yet. We need to take our brand new non-shiny baby Froakie and make it make a bunch of eggs that we can hatch into the correctly miscolored Froakie, which mercifully doesn't take too long at this point. Now I know what you're thinking. He's light blue, not black. And that's true. But look what happens when we evolve him into a Greninja. Woo! there's our next party member, baby. Greninja is one of the coolest Pokemon ever, so we need a name that fits. So I went with Erebos, the primal god of darkness. With our new recruit ready to fight, we arrive at the normal gym and prepare for the gym test. This time we need to, order a secret menu item. Okay, not sure how this will help me become a Pokemon master, but I order a medium serving of extra crispy grilled rice balls with the lemon on top, and weirdly enough, that gives me the right to fight a businessman in his mid-40s called Larry. Alright, just your typical Pokemon gym experience, I guess. The battle starts, and the size difference between Erebos and Larry's Kamala fills me with the utmost confidence. Erebos promptly blows Kamala away, and we're in the lead now, but Greninja gets paralyzed by Dudunsparce and struggles to land an attack. By some universal miracle, Greninja survives on 1 HP, and I manage to swap him out with Salem. Disguised as Onix, Salem takes down Dudunsparce, and the final Pokemon on Larry's team has arrived. Terastallized Staraptor. Larry's coworkers cheer him on from the sidelines, but I spit in their face and absolutely abolish Staraptor with the one-hit KO. Larry looks even more depressed than usual, and I actually start to feel kinda bad, so I join him for a quick lunch to try to cheer him up. Once we finish, we are once again challenged by Nemona, and it's time to even the score. Erebos takes out Lycanroc, then we switch to Onix once Palmo shows up. Palmo tries to use electric moves, which of course don't really affect Onix, silly, and we burn him alive. Gumi suffers the same fate, and now the only Pokemon Nemona has left is her ace Quaquaval. Terastallizing helps her out a bit, and she manages to beat Onix, Orion, and Salem, but thanks to their valiant efforts, Quaquaval is left with only 1 HP, so Erebos comes in for an easy cleanup. The fight was close, but I had enough power to stumble my way through. With Nemona out of the way for now, we were clear to head to the Ghost Gym and face Rhyme. But before we do that, I want to level up my party just a little bit, so I battled some wild Pokemon, and oh yeah, now that we have enough gym badges, we can finally pull Citadel out of the PC. I named him Caspian and gave him an Ice Stone, so he evolves into Cetitan. With our new addition, our party should be a lot stronger, but I'm not gonna just stop there. It's time for Onix to evolve too, into Palossand. With all these power-ups, I really don't see the Ghost Gym being any problem at all, so I head inside to begin the challenge. The warm-up matches are incredibly easy, and we breeze through practically unharmed. And honestly, Rhyme really isn't much of a problem either. The fight is much more even compared to the lackeys, but my party easily defeats Banette, Mimikyu, Houndstone, and Toxtricity. With another gym badge in our pocket, we travel over to Alfornada to take on the Psychic Gym. And for some reason, Nemona shows up again, even though I literally just beat you 5 minutes ago. Get a freaking life, man. We defeat her and continue through the Psychic Gym test, and this is where Greninja gets, a little bit over-leveled, which is, yeah, unfortunate. Luckily, the Psychic Gym itself was similar in difficulty to the Ghost Gym, meaning very easy. Despite one small blunder, Orion was strong enough to power through, taking out most of the roster, with Caspian finishing out the fight. At this point, these gym badges are basically being handed to me. Why do we even need to do these battles? Honestly. After the fight, I felt another familiar rumbling in my backpack. My other mysterious egg was hatching, and this time, we got a Charmander. Of course, he's not miscolored correctly, but we can just do what we did with Froakie. Force it to absolutely pump out eggs until it has a mutant baby that is just a slightly lighter shade of orange. Then from here, Charmander evolves into Charmeleon and then into the big boy Charizard. Look at how cool he is. Oh my goodness! Game Freak employees in the chat are absolutely popping off. We go ahead and name him Anthracite after the coal with the fewest impurities and the highest energy density of all types of coal. Don't say I never taught you anything on this channel. And it turns out we hatched this boy at the perfect time, because next up is the Ice Gym. As always, the gym challenge was a breeze. Woo! And the gym leader Grusha came out and got Crucia'd, am I right? Anthracite melted through the enemy, literally. I just spammed Flamethrower and won. Easy. Now for the penultimate Team Star group, the Fairy Team. The grunts were so easy, I almost forgot they were there, and the challenge was the same as the others, and similarly easy. Then finally, all that was left was the leader and his Revavroom. which was also incredibly easy. I'm so strong. What is going on? At this point, there's only one Team Star challenge left before the grand finale, and much like the others, I'm gonna make them blast off again. Aerie, the fighting leader, struggled valiantly to keep the embers of Team Star alive, but it wasn't enough. The plan for this battle was to disguise Salem as a Titan, so Aerie would use a bunch of fighting moves, which Zoroark is immune to, and that plan worked flawlessly. I started by powering up my attack stat and then just cheesed my way through everything she threw at me, including the final Revivroom. And that's Team Star. Completely beaten, and I didn't even have a single scratch on me. Or so I thought the plot was done, but there's a huge twist. Clive was actually Clavel the whole time, the true leader of Team Star. Who could have seen this coming? I guess it's time for one more Team Star battle. We meet our foe at sundown at the place where this all began. For this battle, my strategy was mostly to just use Pokemon with the type advantage, but I also gave Zoroark and Charizard a Chesto Berry in case they fell asleep against his monkey, so we could avoid getting cheesed in any way, shape, or form. Thanks to this, it was a pretty easy fight, and by the time it was done, the only Pokemon that fainted was Erebos. And with that, Team Star was done. Again! I'm sure there won't be another plot twist where Clavel is not actually the boss of Team Star and I have to fight another person again. Oh my goodness, come on! Why would you fake being the leader to test me? This plot makes no sense! Oh! Anyway, we ignore that problem for the time being, then head over to the final set of fights, the Elite Four. The first of the four to step up to the plate was Rika, and the first match was my Greninja Erebos versus Whiscash. There wasn't too much strategy to this fight, just focusing on type advantages and my Pokemon being just overall stronger also helped. Erebos takes Whiscash down in 2 hits and almost gets past Donphan 2 before succumbing to natural disasters. Turns out, Caspian can summon natural disasters of his own though, and uses an avalanche to show the elephant what his ancestors went through during the Ice Age. Camerupt is up next, so I decide to swap Caspian out for Charizard since fire moves will be less effective. Everything just seems to be going as planned so far, and Camerupt doesn't put up much of a challenge. Next up is Dugtrio, but a single flamethrower is enough to take care of him. And the final Pokemon from Rika is Clodsire. The high defense that this Clodsire has almost allows him to kill Charizard, but enough flamethrowers take him down before that can happen. That's 1 of 4 done, and the next up to the plate is Poppy. And here we go. The fight starts with Charizard versus Caparaja. Since I know what Pokemon I'm gonna have to face, I'm prepared with type advantages again. Charizard flamethrowers through the majority of Poppy's Steel Boys until Poppy is down to her last Pokemon, Tinkaton. And I don't say this lightly, but this Pokemon genuinely looks ridiculous. What even is this thing? We try to finish out the fight with the move that carried us this far, but the Terastallization must have saved Tinkaton because she is left with just a sliver of health. The enemy smacks us with a giant hammer, which is actually so close to killing us. If we didn't have a Charty Berry, Charizard would be donezo. But he clings on and unleashes one last attack. Poppy's final Pokemon falls, and we are now halfway through the Elite Four. Up next is my best friend Larry, and I think back to that one time that we shared rice balls together. That was nice. We should do that again. But nothing personal, Larry. You're in my way, so you have to go down. This time, I chose to start with Caspian so I could boost his stats with Snowscape, then follow up with an Avalanche for massive damage against his flying types. Caspian does manage to beat Larry's Tropius without suffering too much damage. Straptor then hits us with a super effective close combat, but thanks to the snow, it doesn't even do that much damage. Another Avalanche and Staraptor is buried 6 feet under, followed shortly by his next Pokemon, Altaria. By this point, Caspian was sitting at just less than half health, but I believed in my boy and let him go up against, oh, hey, it's Oricorio. Disgusting normal Oricorio. The imposter Oricorio did a little dance and Caspian got confused, so I decided to swap him out for Greninja, who then died instantly to the dancing bird. Well, Salem, it's your turn, I guess. Avenge Erebos, use Bitter Malice! And boom, Oricorio goes down as well. The last bird to face was actually Flamigo with balloons? Salem strikes first with the Bitter Malice, taking out half of Flamigo's health, but Flamigo strikes back with a super effective close combat. Salem falls, so I throw out Anthracite, who lands a mean air slash on the enemy. Flamigo's health drops to 0, and the match is done. Sorry, Larry, but it had to be done. We can go out for lunch after this, yes. Okay, fine. At this point, it was now time for the final fight before I could take my shot at becoming the best in the world. The only person who stood in my way was the Dragon Master Hassel. With my party healed up, the match begins. And first up is Caspian versus Noivern. Noivern strikes with a Super Fang while Caspian makes it snow, boosting his stats once again. Thanks to that boost, Caspian moves first with an Ice Spinner, which one-shots the Noivern. Haxorus takes to the stage, but is almost instantly wiped out by another Ice Spinner attack. The enemy manages to cling to life with a sliver of health and lands an Iron Headbutt on Caspian, but our boy doesn't take much damage and finishes off this poser. It's not looking good for Hassel as he sends out Dragalge, who, just like Haxorus, is hit with an Ice Spinner and left on just 1 HP. What is going on? But then the snow stops falling, so I swap out Caspian for Onyx. Onyx obviously crushes Dragalge, who is barely holding on at this point, but the next opponent is Flapple. And being really scared of this flying apple, I swap out again for Charizard. Flapple doesn't realize that I'm just on another level and is taken out with a single super effective Air Slash. And now, this is it. The final Pokemon of the final Elite Four member, Baxcalibur. Charizard does land a super effective Dragon Pulse, but it's not enough to finish off the big icy boy. He strikes back with his own super powerful move, Glaive Rush, and Charizard falls. It's unfortunate, but I'm not worried. We still have 5 Pokemon in our party to fight. So I send out Salem, and all it takes is one more Bitter Malice, and I was ready to face the champion. Miss Gita, La Primera. It's about time I take my spot as the best Pokemon trainer in Paldea. Bring it! My plan for the big final fight was to use Zoroark disguised as Charizard for a very specific reason that I'll reveal later. In the most dramatic stadium yet, the match begins. Salem starts by shooting off a super effective Bitter Malice, destroying his Pathra in one single hit. Amazing start. I then used Nasty Plot to increase my special attack stat while avoiding King Gambit's Stone Edge. Ha! Being the best trainer in the world, but missing an attack? How embarrassing, Gita. One flamethrower is all it takes to finish off King Gambit. Such a reliable move. Avalugg is up next and dead. Flamethrower is too good. Oh, Go-Goat, would you like a flamethrower? Yes, I think you would. Boom, another one down. Hey, Veluza, what would you do against a Bitter Malice? Oh, you'll faint? That's great. Really? This is the best Pokemon trainer in Paldea? This is all you got? Let's see if we can go 6 for 6 on one-hit KOs. Salem, my original black shiny party member, fires off a blast of Bitter Malice and ooh, so close. We almost had the perfect run, but that's all right. Not to worry, the enemy Glamora's attack isn't very effective and we can finish off the fight with one final Bitter Malice. And just like that, the top champion Gita is defeated and we are the new best in Paldea. Oh, also, by the way, there was no reason to be disguised as Charizard. I just think he looks really cool. Again, Game Freak going crazy in the chat. But yes, we did it. We are now the champion and oh my god, Nimona. Come on, are you really gonna do this? Are you really gonna try to take this away from me after I just got it? Ugh. Thankfully, Gita steps in to give us a chance to rest. And we are the champion at this point, but our work isn't done quite yet. It was finally time to properly take down the criminal cabal. Team Star, Penny. Though now that I'm the top champion, can anyone really put up a good fight? Well, it turns out Penny and her evolutions kinda can. Up first is Umbreon, who almost goes toe-to-toe with Anthracite. Surviving 2 powerful attacks, Umbreon manages to get Charizard down to half HP, which Vaporeon quickly takes advantage of. Next up, I send out Salem, who beats Vaporeon, but then loses to Flareon. We're both 2 Pokemon down here, and this is feeling pretty close. I get Orion to finish off Flareon, but swap out for Onix once Jolteon comes out. Of course, Jolteon can't do much to Palossand, so we win this bout very easily. Then there's Leafeon, who is a bit of a problem for Onix, so Orion comes back out swinging with Revelation Dance. One hit is all it takes, and we're on to the last evolution. We swap to Onix, who finishes out the fight with a barrage of flash cannons, and now, Team Star is finally, officially, for real, 100% defeated. And at this point, it's time for our last rematch with Nimona. The stage is set. The battle is on. Let's do this. Lycanroc goes out first, so we send out Erebos. And the fight begins with one massive liquidation from Greninja, and Nimona finds herself down 1 Pokemon already. Next, she sends out Palmot, who takes out Greninja in a single hit. Touché, Nimona. Touché. But this is where the battle becomes much easier. Salem finishes off Pawmod and uses Nasty Plot to buff itself, while Dunsparce can do absolutely nothing. After using it 3 times, Salem was unstoppable and steamrolled through the rest of Nemona's Pokemon. Dunsparce goes down, Orthworm goes down, Goodra goes down, and the final Pokemon, one we're all too familiar with at this point, Quaquaval, is defeated in just a single hit. It's over, Nemona. I'm sorry to say, but you're simply not on my level anymore. But I'll agree, good match. At long last, it was time to meet the evil robot in Area 0 and finish the story once and for all. Arvin, Nemona, Penny, and I made our way through the caves and oh, what the heck, glitchy texture, weird. Anyway, we made it through the caves and found our last challenge waiting for us. AI Professor Turo. Okay, it's time to save the world yet again. Iron Moth hits first with the fiery dance that leaves Onix on half health, but Onix doesn't take it sitting down and melts the Iron Moth with an Earth Power. Iron Jugulis then survives being hit with the Flash Cannon, only to answer with a Dark Pulse, which finishes off Palisand. Then Charizard helps out with an Air Slash Flamethrower Wombo combo to defeat the Iron Jugulis, and Salem easily dispatches Iron Thorns. From here, Salem carries hard, using Bitter Malice to take out Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, and Iron Valiant. AI Turo was defeated, and the world was saved, and it's official. Challenge complete. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Till next time.